this to our candidates on this side of the table. So here we go. Question number one. And these questions also, ladies and gentlemen, were sourced from the neighborhood. These are the issues we've been told that you want to hear about. So that's why we're putting these questions to our candidates here tonight. So, this first question. The Market and Octavia Area Plan anticipates thousands of new housing units being developed in the upper market area over the next several years. Yet, our public transportation infrastructure frequently fails to meet even today's needs. So, do you support requiring appropriate improvements in transit capacity and service before new development entitlements can be granted? And why or why not? Michela, Alioto-Pier, will ask you to answer first.
Thank you. Let me start by saying thank you to the Eureka Valley and the diverse Triangle neighbors and to this fabulously beautiful theater. It is so nice to be here in the Castro. Let me just say that as a member of the Board of Supervisors for 6.5 years, we spent a lot of time looking at different types of projects that came before us and seeing the types of impacts. And the fact that we didn't pay as much attention to the types of impacts, especially on our neighborhoods and our communities, as perhaps was needed. And so I would certainly like to know that before we start some of these larger projects, that we have an idea of how we're going to get people to and from them. My own personal pet peeve with our own transportation system is that it is not always accessible to people with disabilities, and it is not always accessible to our families. And so as we look at projects, particularly those that are more guided towards our families, we should certainly be looking at how we're going to be able to transport all sorts of people, including tons of children. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next to answer the same question, Tony Hall. We are doing it rapidly. Forgive me for that.
Thank you very much. Is this on? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. To the Du Bois Triangle Neighborhood Association, the Eureka Valley Neighborhood Association, thank you for including me in this forum tonight. The last one I was not included because, as many people in this room know, to not be included is not nice. This is all about dissent being part of democracy, so thanks, guys. To answer this question very directly, yes. My 30 years experience in city government has told me over and over and over again, if you do not address neighborhood concerns before the groundbreaking of any project, they're not going to be addressed. So absolutely, as far as the MTA goes, change must start at the top. I've been saying this for several years since I was on the board. With new administration in the MTA, with people who are experienced in that field and know what they're going to do, you will get better services. Thank you.
Next Supervisor, David Chiu.
So first of all, I want to thank the beautiful crowd here at the Castro. Thank you for being part of our incredible San Francisco community. As the one candidate who is sitting here at this table who doesn't have a car, and as someone who as someone who has been as frustrated as everyone is in this room for how late commuting is, we need to make sure that our city is investing in appropriate transit infrastructure. I think what's appropriate is that we are paying as we go. If we are creating development, we need to make sure that there is transit and transit improvements related to that. Since I have a little bit more time on my answer, I'd like to ask and reframe, I think, a question that we should talk about tonight. I want to welcome our Mayor Ed Lee to the race today. And here's a question I think we should all be asking. As you know, tonight the Ethics Commission is considering ethical violations against the Run Ed Run campaign that drafted you into this race. There are allegations that this committee did not follow campaign finance laws and illegally shook down corporations that are city contractors. Jack St. Croix, your city department head, has made recommendations to ensure that campaign finance laws are followed. Do you believe that your department head's recommendations are correct?
David, we have to move on, because if everyone has a question, we're going to just be out of control and out of time. But we thank you for your comments. Next, we're going to ask Joanna, Rees to answer the question. The same question. Yes, sorry. Yeah. I did. I got that wrong. We're doing it randomly, so.
Thank you. First of all, I'd like to commend Terry Joan for being here. And more than 1,200 signatures that you said you gathered, so you deserve to be here. I do think that seat, though, was probably saved for Rose Pack to help Mayor Lee answer questions.
So, to answer the question.
Yes, I'd love to get to the question. Thank you. So, public transportation has been something I keep talking about because we are not innovating in terms of how we're serving people in the community. Most people know I spend a lot of time at bus stops. I ride lots of buses. And there's so much that we can do. I've participated in a lot of hackathons and transportation camps and different ways to innovate. We should do demand-based routing. There's just so much that needs to be done in terms of how we just serve the community in our public transportation. I think this is an issue that has to be fully addressed. I really want to bring an entrepreneurial spirit to how we do this, where we're continually testing and innovating and doing everything we can to improve service to the community.
Thank you, Joanna. And Senator Leland, you can also answer the question.
Thank you very much for the question, and let me thank all of you for coming. I too would agree with all of my colleagues here on the panel, but let me also, I guess, weigh in on an issue that is uppermost in a lot of individuals' mind here in San Francisco, and that's our mayor jumping into this particular race. It just seems to be that had the mayor said that he would in fact run, that he may not have gotten the votes to become interim mayor. And therefore, now that the promise has been broken, and I want to ask the mayor as to whether or not he would resign from this particular post, and then run as just any other individual to please to occupy that you may not in fact run. So Mayor Lee should resign from your post in order to then run for mayor of the city of San Francisco.
Thank you for that. Let's move on to the next question, ladies and gentlemen. This next question will be addressed to Bevan, to Supervisor Joan, to Dennis, to Phil, and Mayor Edmund Lee. Is your question, question 2. During the